इंडस्ट्री के एक वर्ड में अगर मैं कहूँ तो ये सब है शेपर्स. दे आर द शेपर्स ऑफ मीडिया, एंटरटेनमेंट एंड कंजम्पशन इन इंडिया. तो इनको हम स्टेज पर बुलाएंगे और इनके साथ हम एक डायलॉग करेंगे. सबसे पहले मैं आप सभी से इंट्रोड्यूस करना चाहूँगी हमारे इस डायलॉग के मॉडरेटर श्री मनोज टंडन जी. ही इज़ द डायरेक्टर प्रोजेक्ट ऑपरेशंस एंड मेंटेनेंस for RailTel Corporation of India Limited. And on this panel discussion, our speakers are Mr. Prashant Chothani, Shri Raunak Maheshwari, Shri Ujjwal Mahajan, Shri Sudhakar Mani, Shri Pratap Jain.
Entertainment. I think in digital world, we can't think of contents and channels without OTT. But we are going to deliberate a lot of other topics which are connected to OTT ecosystem in this interesting discussion. Good afternoon, distinguished guests and media friends and all colleagues. It's my pleasure to be here. I think the steep rise of OTT platforms during COVID and post-COVID have given a new impetus to entertainment channels as well as industry. We are clearly seeing that OTT is now a de facto standard for accessing entertainment contents and channels. The biggest part is that OTT is now competing with the linear TV, and hence the customer is king today. I think the time is not far away when we will see that AI emerges into the content creation, and the storyline or the end of these stories will be as per the choice of the customer, not what content creator is feeding into. With this, I am opening the session for the panel, and we have interesting discussion on the various topics which have summarized. And my first question is, or set of questions is to Shri Prashant. Prashant ji, how could OTT platforms collaborate for the industry? Because we have seen this market is very, very fragmented. The OTT aggregation is one such step, but what are the other things which you see for the mutual growth? And second things, that how do you see that OTT is going to impact the linear TV as well as the non-smart TV consumption?
Thank you, Mr. Tandon. If you look at any ecosystem, there are top 3 players, and then there are the bottom 100 players. So collaboration is mainly required for the bottom 97 to survive, thrive, so that there is diversity in storytelling, there is diversity of thought, and propagation of a single ideology or a single thought process does not overpower the whole conversation. If you look at the 97 OTT platforms out of the 100 is where collaboration is very much required. It's like you can consider those are the SMEs of the OTT platform business. They can collaborate together in optimizing their cost by combining their buying strengths as far as CDN is concerned or technology transfer is concerned. They can create silos of data which is common amongst all of them, and then if not share, allow other OTT platforms to use their data to reach out to the customer. When we started cable TV, we used to always say, if content is king, distribution is God. So 2 gods are sitting here, Prasar Bharati and RailTel. And I need to congratulate RailTel because of RailTel, cable TV was propagated throughout the nation. I'm sure all big MSOs used RailTel to reach out to the last mile with the same head end. हमारा इतना बड़ा देश, इतनी डाइवर्सिटी, हमारे पास क्या नहीं है? हम सब कुछ दुनिया को दिखा सकते हैं, सब कुछ खिला भी सकते हैं. We are the food market of the world. We are the health capital of the world. हम सब जो चाहिए दुनिया को हमारे पास सब कुछ है. This is India's decade. This is our decade.
Okay, Prashant, since you talk about the cross-feeding and also my next question will be directed towards Mr. Raunak. Why? Because he is playing a very active role in establishing more cross-connects markets between OTTs and internet players. So Raunak ji, the question to you is that with the current trajectory of OTT entertainment, how do you see that it is going to affect the infrastructure development of digital India further? And the second question is that user experience of OTT requires greater connectivity. And what challenges you are foreseeing on technology front? And what is your view on the easing out these challenges as well as support required from government on extending the greater reach of the high-speed last mile connectivity?
See, I'll try to explain the entire gamut of connectivity from where to where it goes. You are right that in India, on mobility, we have 25 to 30 GB data consumption per user per month. But when you see Indian FTTH broadband providers consumption, it's approximately 2000 GB per month. That is significantly huge. And this is, I'm talking about now, FTTH in India is very limited. We have only about 7 to 8% of wireline broadband penetration in the country. So out of 30 crore homes in the country, only about 2.5 crore homes are connected on wireline broadband. We say these are homes, but 50% of these are offices. So only 50% of the homes in the country are connected on wireline broadband. So far away from where we should be and what we need to do. So, but okay, what we need to achieve this thing, and first of all, why we need to achieve this thing. As you said, consumption on mobility is only 25 to 30 GB. This is for sure not for entertainment. This is for your applications. You may do some Facebook, some Instagram, some WhatsApp messages shared, etc. But you are not going to engage into one serious productivity, serious education, and serious entertainment using your mobile broadband. You cannot. Physics does not allow. We are such populated country with such densely populated population centers that if everybody starts watching a movie, for example, or a cricket match on mobile, then there is not enough spectrum possible to provide the high bit rate to the end user on the mobile device. That's why you also see no television comes with a SIM tray. Every television comes with probably a Ethernet port or a Wi-Fi connectivity. So mobile will not be ever able to provide you such kind of reliable bit rates. You need to move to wireline broadband. Challenge with wireline broadband is the entire gamut of connectivity. It starts from data centers. We have data centers currently majorly in the 6 metro cities and probably in some state capitals, but not many. But then see, data growth has also helped us realize how much data center is important, and this data center industry, even though it is nascent in the country, it is still considered well grown. But now, if I come to population centers, apart from the metro cities and state capitals, there are 1,500 population centers in the country which have more than 50,000 households each. Now imagine if all these have to be connected on wireline broadband and they are consuming content where we need to have data centers in all these 1,500 locations. We need to have CDNs proliferated in all these 1,500 locations. We need to have fiber highways connecting all these 1,500 locations. We need to have significant last mile capacity going out from these 1,500 locations to the ISPs, and then significant enough access created from the ISPs to their end users. Now, the entire problem that we have to solve is significantly huge. So, while Madhiya, when she was introducing the topic here, she said we have grown, our mobile penetration has gone to 52%. So there are countries in the world which have mobile penetration 179%. So we have approximately half mobile per person. And there are countries in the world which have 2 mobiles per person. We are far away. The statistics, while we would like to praise ourselves that we have done well, but reality is not that. Reality is we are far away from it. Even when you consider 5G, so India has approximately 3.5 lakh towers right now. Out of that 3.5 lakh, approximately 1 lakh are fiberized. This is not even good for 3G, let alone 4G and 5G. For 5G, you need 10 times the tower, and you need 90% of those towers fiberized. This is when we will achieve proper 5G. So we are far away from proper implementation of any technology. When you ask me what is the support that I would request government to provide, in 2023, India passed new Telecommunication Act after 138 years. So the previous act was passed by British. The new act, Indian Telecommunication Act 2023, is passed by the parliament in the last year. Now, this act, for the first time, there is an act which is not prescriptive based, it is principle based. कि आप it has given a framework कि ये काम करने के लिए ये rules follow करो, ये काम करने के लिए ये rules follow करो. वो rules बनाने के लिए TRAI के पास में matter है. TRAI ने consultation papers release किए हैं. But if you look at the questions that TRAI has released, it is legacy questions. So the thought process, even though the act is new, it is principle based, the thought process is still prescriptive. This needs to change, and this is where I would request the government to support that the regulation that is being framed right now, the rules that we are framing for the new act, need to be based on principles. Otherwise, we will keep on doing patchwork always. For example, there is a demand from telcos now that you need to license the OTT communication apps. So that's incorrect as far as I am concerned, because these are not using any spectrum, they are not using any resource, they are overlay. I mean, they are over another layer. So, as far as I am concerned, the act is very good. The TRAI consultation process needs to change and align with the principle-based act making, rule making.
Thanks, Raunak. What you are saying is miles covered, but miles to go. On the RailTel part, we have covered entire all railway stations across country through public Wi-Fi system. And we have a lot of success stories in terms of how people use those free public Wi-Fi for clearing the exams, earning their breads, and getting a lot of information. We're also trying to set up 100 data centers, edge data centers in tier 2, tier 3 towns, which is going to help us in terms of the establishing distributed channel or CDN platforms to host and get the LCOs connected in those locations to take the channels further to the customers. Thank you. My next question is to Mr. Pratap. See, we are seeing in last couple of years, we are seeing OTT establishing its foothold very firmly. And though we are seeing it is a disruption, but I think this disruption is going to help the ecosystem in terms of establishing the various other channels, various informal channels for employment generation, as I said earlier. But what do you think that, one is that, how do you see it as an incremental employment generation? And second thing is, how do you see that OTT technology per se is going to change with the changing user behavior? Mr. Pratap.
Sir, I say that OTT in itself is a very big. Hello, can you hear me? OTT in itself is a very big industry, and it's an independent industry. So there are lots of employment generation is happening in the field of OTT sector. Like you see, earlier we had superstar, film stars, and everything, right? But now even a person from a village can become a superstar. He can come, he can earn money, he can make videos and everything. Later on he can come into films and everything, okay? So, you see, at very first level, there is many opportunities that is OTT giving to the people in India and globally, which are not in the mainstream. So apart from being actor or actress, there are many filmmakers, there are many independent directors. They are pitching to OTT platforms their work, and they are getting like published, right? There are many influencers in the market, social media influencers. They are getting work from the OTT to sell the product and everything. So there is a new employment generation that is happening through the OTT in tech sector, digital marketing sector. Everywhere OTT is giving business to individuals and young generations. Right? So there are many things that a person can pursue in OTT, like I said this. And in terms of user behavior and what is changing in OTT, see I tell you, user is now more looking for personalized kind of content. He wants, जैसे सर ने कहा था पहले भी कि एक स्टेशन पे खड़ा हूँ पर कौन सी ट्रेन पकड़नी है पता नहीं है, स्टेशन पे खड़ा रहता हूँ. तो एक यूज़र को चाहिए कि वो जब OTT पे जाए तो उसको वो दिखे जो उसको चाहिए कंटेंट. तो उस तरह से हमको OTT को चेंज होना पड़ेगा, हमको कोलैब करना पड़ेगा हमें. हमें डाइवर्सिफाइड कंटेंट रखना पड़ेगा ताकि यूज़र को वो सर्च और डिस्कवरी ऑफ द कंटेंट मिले, राइट. आई टेल यू, इसमें एआई काफ़ी रोल अदा कर सकता है in terms of discovery of the content and all these things. Like I say, कि अभी तक we need know a word called SEO, is search engine optimization. The future will be not SEO, the future will be AIO, artificial intelligence optimization. So when I use AI tool, I will just search what content I want to watch this weekend, and he will tell me what content I should watch in this weekend. And as per my preference, as per my choice, he will just push me a content. He will know what I want. AI will not work on keywords. SEO works on keyword. AI will work on my choice. What is my preference, what I watch, what is my behavior. Right? So this way the complete game will change. Like I tell you, I have seen a tool which अभी आपने देखा होगा कि काफ़ी लोग मूवी रिव्यू करते हैं, फेक रिव्यू करते हैं कि यार बड़ा अच्छा मूवी था, देखा मैंने, बड़ा अच्छा लगा. But is it genuine or not? We don't know. So in future, what will happen? A AI tool is there. When you are watching a movie, you will wear the tool, like a headphone, and you will see the complete movie. Okay, and that tool will analyze your behavior while you are watching the movie on every frame. On which frame you laugh, on which frame you cry, किस frame पे आप बोर हो रहे हो, किस frame पे आपका attention divert हो रहा है, किस frame पे आप ज़्यादा engage हो रहे हो, वो सारी चीज़ read करेगा. उसके बाद जब आप मूवी पूरी देख लोगे, then he will analyze कि आपने को मूवी कैसी लगी. So you will not say how was the movie. The AI will say, did you like the movie or not? So these are the changes going to happen in the future, in very near future. I will say 1 or 2 years or 3 years maximum. So how the user behavior is changing, sir, and we have to adapt to the changing.
So, Mr. Pratap, fortunately, the biggest search engine of the world is concentrated with 1 or 2 players only. And that is the, I think, reason why the search is not evolving or search engines are not evolving. So maybe we can have another startup or array of startups which are focused only on the search engine because they are going to solve a lot of problems of OTT content.
I'm telling you, it will be AI or not SEO. In future, you just type, you just ask, and you will get the answer. There will be no search engine in 3-4 years. They all will die. Just go to any AI, chat, GPT, and anything. Just tell them what you want, and it will give you the perfect and 100% result of what you want. Because they know your mind.
Understood, but the only thing is the ecosystem has to have their own role. One cannot be expected to play all the roles. So if the roles are distributed, demarcated, maybe we can have sharper and more deeper engagement with that application. Thank you, Mr. Pratap, again.
Thank you.
My next question is to Mr. Ujjwal. So Ujjwal, we are clearly seeing that the OTT platforms are on the expansion path. But we are also seeing that the 5G is yet to gain the maturity, or as mentioned by Mr. Raunak, that only 30-35% towers are fiberized so far, and they are working on microwave or on the free Wi-Fi for the backbone connectivity. So what is the role you see in terms of the technology which can play in exceeding access to these OTT platforms? And second question is that what is your view on the scope of regional OTT in the regional languages which are now being talked about or now being served to the regional customers? Mr. Ujjwal.
Thank you so much, Mr. Tandon, for the question. Thank you so much for this August gathering and for Playbox and Prasar Bharati and RailTel for organizing this. So on the first part of your question, I'll talk about things from a pure content, from a pure content perspective. And while yes, I fully agree with what Mr. Dwivedi said, that technology is an enabler. When we talk about content, when you have good, powerful content that people want to watch in their own languages, they find a way to watch it. If I talk about my platform today, 80% of my subscribers are in India, of which about 80% are watching it on a mobile-only standard definition plan. So they have options of watching a lot more content that they have access to, be it in the form of YouTube for free or other platforms at HD 4K qualities. Yet they are paying me 149 rupees a month to watch my content in standard definition. So as long as content is powerful, people will find ways to watch content, to watch it. But at the same time, the top of the funnel really matters. As and when more and more people are coming into the digital ecosystem, when they're getting access to smart devices, and we're now seeing, especially in the form of OTT, technologies shifting from mobile to smart TVs to connected TVs and so on and so forth, the penetration definitely increases, and it has a ripple effect throughout the value chain in the ecosystem. So that's what brings me to the second part of your question as well. When we talk about regional OTTs, so at Chopal, we're Ma Boli Ka Chopal, and I feel that this was touched upon briefly by both Mr. Sanjay and Prashant Uncle when you were talking about how today a lot of the content that's being produced is not relevant to a lot of us. We are trying to anglicize ourselves, we're trying to westernize ourselves, and that's great. You should always watch that content, but most of it is not something that we relate to. Like Uncle said, that we like to have a pizza every now and then, but we go back home and we have our dal roti sabzi and chola bhatura and everything that we like, right? That's where Chopal comes in. We want to give you the content that's closest to you in languages that are most relatable to you. And that was a very, very big, complete white space that was there in the Indian context. If you talk about Punjabi, which is where the bulk of our numbers come from, we saw that barring a few theatrical releases, there are close to about 185 million households that speak this language that did not have access to any regional content at all, that did not have access to any web show at all. And what had happened was there were stereotypes formed for particular industries. So Punjabi was associated with comedy movies, ha ha he he, and that's the end of the story. We realized that that was because there was no quality production happening in regional languages. We made we made thrillers, we made psychological dramas, we made action series, and they did fantastically well over and above all of the 100 crore movies as well, because people were given that great relatable content to watch. Bhojpuri had become synonymous with certain kind of content, with certain actors and certain scenes, right? And we were told not to enter that market because that's the only way to survive. We didn't do that. We made an action, family-friendly series in Bhojpuri that's done record-breaking numbers for us. So we feel that's where regional players come in, and the scope for us to grow is only increasing and increasing. And we see this not just in India, but the power of Indians today comes from the fact that we're available in every corner of the world. We have a diaspora unlike anyone else. So when we were doing some kind of a market sizing, there are about 1 billion people that speak just regional languages dedicatedly in and around the world. These people also are very happy consuming regional content in their own languages, which is where Ma Boli Ka Chopal and our content comes in. So that's the role that we feel we will play in this journey, adding more and more languages. And if you talk about the industry in whole, on an overall level as well, similar to what Uncle said, there are 900 TV channels, right? Today people come and they ask us what will happen if Netflix decides to enter your market or Amazon comes in. They will come, they're most welcome to come. But the market is being really underestimated if you feel that by a couple of big players coming in, the entire smaller players will cease to exist. There is tremendous opportunity, not just in languages, but in terms of genres as well. We see OTTs in particular genres, horror, comedy, thrillers, they're coming up and they're doing well. Then they're all amassing a good amount of users. So the only backing that remains at the end of it is quality. And as long as you provide that, you have the enabling technology around it, you will continue to grow and the market will continue to grow.
Thanks, Ujjwal, again for the insights. My last panelist is Mr. Sudhakar. Sudhakar, we already talked about on this topic is that OTT is disrupting the entertainment industry. But it is also establishing a new industry, which was not there in the earlier systems. And the earlier industry was only in the pockets, niche areas. Maybe certain people were, or certain industries was calling the shots. But now it's more democratization, which is helping for OTT to grow further and reach out to so many masses which were untapped earlier. So what is your view on the content creation distribution, how this industry is going to evolve? And the second question is that we also talked on this topic is that how the machine learning and AI is going to reshape the search as well as the OTT experience of users. Shri Sudhakar.
Thank you. Thank you for the question. Good evening, everyone. So I'll keep it very short and sweet. I think maybe there is a time for a break, so I'll keep it very short. So I heard that content is the king and distribution is the god. So what happens to the content creator? Because if there is no content creator, there is no OTT platform. And the media industry as such keeps ignoring the content creator because what I have noticed is the actor gets the name, actress gets the name, and everybody gets the name once the movie releases. But if the movie is not released, what happens? Only the producer comes with the hard disk to us. And they say, please release this film. At least it should reach the people. So that kind of environment is the one which I have seen in the past 5 years. At least in India, I could be able to see that. And I want to explain this with the 3 case studies, which are real case studies, and I'll take very short time for that, and I'll explain that. See, I come from an industry which is Tamil film industry. We launched the first OTT platform in US in 2009. That's when Netflix had only one film, one Tamil film in the entire catalog in Netflix. And if you look at Hindi films, it's less than 10 or 15, if I couldn't remember exactly. So that is the time when we launched the first platform. And when it grossed like millions of views, that gave us the confidence to build such kind of platform over the period of time. But what happened when I returned to India, I could be able to see only the internet penetration is not that much. So in 2014, I came back to India. And only in 2019, I had an opportunity to launch the first OTT platform. So after that, we launched like 10 OTT platforms across southern India. And what I noticed is the content is the king, distribution is the god, but still the content creator or the producer still waiting for his remuneration or a way to release his film. So that is a major gap which I saw. So I started working with them closely and following up with them on various things like the analytics from the OTT platform. I share it with them so that they know what kind of content they can create and monetize. The first case study is like in Kollywood alone, there are thousands of films which are listed for release but not yet released in the last 10 years. Out of every year, there is like 400 films are produced and only 200 of those films gets released in theater. Only 10 or 15 becomes a hit. And the rest 200 still get stuck in the process and then they don't get the release. So when we launched the platform for those kind of people to directly release the content in the platform, there was a lot of opposition from theaters. That is what we noticed in the beginning. So what has happened in the last 5 years is instead of treating the OTT platform as enemies, now they are treating us as partners. That is the major change which happened over the period of time. Thank you. Someone is awake. Thank you. Yes. Okay. What has happened? We are treated as partners, and we are actually making strides with releasing those films. Our content partners are talking to the producer council, and they are in the process of releasing those 1,000 films into the market through the OTT platform. Without the OTT platform, there was no opportunity for the theaters to release those content. So that is one case study which I want to say, because this is one kind of transformation what OTT has provided to the entertainment industry itself. It's a small pocket maybe in the country, but it can be replicated across the entire India, maybe the world also, because not everybody gets the theater. And the second case study which I would like to say is like every Friday, there are like 6 films gets released in Chennai, 6 to 8 films. And what happens, the very next day, only 2 films runs in the theater. The rest is gone after the first or second show itself. So if that film is like the actor or the director is unknown face, right? What happens is they don't get a chance to again come back into the theater. If it is taken out, it is taken out. It won't come on Monday or Tuesday. But what I have seen is most of the films which is bombed in theaters went on to become a very big hit in the OTT platform. Recently, I have a few case studies, like an extraordinary performance they have done in Netflix. One is Mayalagan. I would like to quote that because I watched it 4 times in Netflix alone. And that film bombed in theater, but then it was in second position in India for 2 weeks in Netflix, and 5th position in the whole world for 2 weeks. But it bombed in theater. So that the opportunity was given by the OTT platform to showcase good content. It doesn't matter who is the actor or who is the actress, how much money you have put in, all those things are secondary in OTT platform. What matters is a good content will reach more audience and it will be appreciated not only in India, it is all across the world that the OTT platform provides. That is one opportunity I could able to see, because our platform alone, it is like streaming to 177 countries. We have sold at least 1 ticket across every country in the world of that 177 countries. So there is a requirement for good content. But what we need to take is, we need to take the industry with us. We are not separate from them. Without them, there is no OTT platform. Whatever the technology we have, it doesn't matter. Whatever the distribution methods we have, it doesn't matter. Still, we are completely dependent upon the creators. That is from the media industry, the entertainment industry. They are the pillar stones of this process. So we have to take them and handhold them and give them the analytics, give them the data, so that they can also travel with us for a long period of time. So these 2 case studies really helps me to understand that how we have to handhold the industry, entertainment industry along with us, so that the content creation is not a problem for the OTT industry, as well as distribution is also not a problem with this approach. And after reading all those things and case studies, everything, I myself got into production now. We have made like 360 3D content now, which is like can be accessed through this Oculus device as of now. But in that process, I understood the difficulties faced by the actual creators. How much the producer gets problem during the shooting and pre-production, post-production, scheduling, all those things I was able to understand. And then I'm able to appreciate them for their work, because after everything, they come up with the hard disk to give us the content to play in the OTT platform. But till that process, like what happens, we don't know. So I could be able to learn that process. And apart from that, the things are going to change rapidly. The content creators, if anybody is here, there is 360 3D content which is coming into picture. And as well as we, in our OTT platform, what we have done is we have created virtual theaters. So at home, you can sit and watch the IMAX level theater content at home itself. So basically, it can play 2D content, 3D content, and as well as 360 3D content. So that is what the Oculus device will help us to proceed further. Maybe in the future, once the cost becomes less, more and more creators will be involved in creating 3D content, 360 3D content. Even if it is a 2D content, through the OTT platform, we can watch as if we are watching from in IMAX theater, just sitting at home. And there are multiple theaters we have created, mini theaters, big theaters, IMAX-like theaters, all those things right in this device itself. All you have to do is just sit at home and wear it, and you will be taken to a place where the real cinema experience will be at home itself. So you can select your rows, which seat you want to sit, and then you can watch the content as if you are actually sitting in the theater. So these things proves us not only the technology is evolving, the content creation also has to evolve along with it, so that OTT platform can bring more revenues to the content producer. Because ultimately, if they are not there, we are actually killing the golden duck, right? If people are going to make content, and if they are not able to monetize their content, then we are actually stuck at some point that there will be no more content produced. So always keep in mind, we are working along with that industry in terms of content creation, distribution, and the marketing part. All those things we take care, but then ultimately the creator is the one which is actually giving us the content.
Thanks. Very interesting insights about the. It was interesting to note that the same movie which bombed in the theater got successful, very successful in the OTT platform. That shows that we have different clientele at the OTT and different clientele at theaters. And it's interesting to have some insights into somebody is also working on the viewing. Normally in the ICT world, we call it last mile, but if you see for the customer, it's a first mile. So at the customer side, also somebody is working on it to evolve it further. It's very interesting to know. I think, as I mentioned earlier, this with AI stepping in, the content creation itself is going to have a lot of creative journey, a lot of transformative journey, wherein it is going to ease out the content creation, the economics behind the content creation, and possibly a large population, or let's say a group of people, can influence the storyline unfolding also. As I mentioned earlier, is that what storyline I want from this running opera, and I don't want to depend on what is being served. I want to see something which I want to see actually. So this I is going to have a lot of say in the AI journey also. The OTT platforms have reshaped the entertainment industry, as I mentioned, in numerous ways, by changing how content is created, distributed, served, and there are various revenue models which are coming from the OTT ecosystem. While they have created new opportunities and markets, they have also posed challenges for the traditional media and film industries. But as the OTT landscape continues to evolve, its influence will only grow and drive further transformation in global entertainment industry. With this, this session is coming to end. I thank to all the participants to actively participate and share their views. Thank you once again. Thank you.
Thank you so much to each and every person present on this panel for a scintillating discussion on OTT and its contribution towards entertainment and entertainment industry. We would like to extend our vote of thanks over here and felicitate each and every person over here on stage. Manoj Tandon sir, I would request you to please take your honors and felicitate all of our speakers.